Edward here from earviewer.com. I have another video for you. Getting back into my explorations with remote viewing after holidays and dealing with some life things that come about. But getting back to exploring the things that are of the most interest to me. Some of the stuff that I got coming up is I'm turning my attention and my focus back towards these things, are dealing with time in the future and how we perceive things from the future, and exploring that deeper and seeing what kind of experiences I can get from that. So that's what's coming up. Another element that I'm interested in, that's what I'm focusing on with this video, is a mental processing realm below the threshold of awareness called the belief barrier. Now, for anyone who has this book, Ingo Swann's Natural ESP, in my opinion, probably one of the greatest books ever written on the subject of how our minds process this type of information, these types of inputs through, as Ingo Swann terms it, the psychic nucleus, the ESP core, how our minds process information from that is beyond time and space. This is a fantastic book. If you can find it, get it. If you have it, read it 1,000 times, like I have and will continue to do. There's so much good stuff in there. But in one of his diagrams that he has here of the mental processing realms, one of them that he has in there is the belief barrier. And the belief barrier is a part of the deep mind that in my opinion, every individual who takes on this kind of an endeavor, remote viewing or perceptual exploration, will come upon their own belief barrier if they can find it, as a mental process that is manipulating how information gets processed through below the threshold of awareness, and how it presents itself above the threshold of awareness. How our beliefs, these subtle beliefs that we may not even be aware of, and most likely are not aware of, but as these inputs come bouncing through the mental processing realms below the threshold, they are subjected to our belief systems below the threshold, be them our beliefs of whether or not this is possible, our beliefs of how we trust ourselves in processing information, whether we may discount some type of perceptual information based on whether or not we believe that it could be true or not. All of these things come into factor in the belief barrier. And again, one needs to go in and explore their own belief barrier, their own deep mind beliefs about these processes, and explore them deeply and understand them and learn about themselves and how their mind works. And that's where they can find these things like the belief barrier. It's very real. Just like the threshold barrier is very real, the subliminal barrier, these things are very real. Although I have had some comments of some people who believe or think that they are not real, that they are just some type of figment of our imagination, or they're only there because we think they're there. And my argument to that is that if that were the case, then anyone who argues that the limit or the threshold barrier does not exist, my challenge to that person or those people is to videotape yourself under completely blind conditions, attempting to perceive a remote location or remote view. Try remote viewing under completely blind conditions. If your theory is true that the subliminal barrier, these barriers do not exist, you should be 100% accurate 100% of the time, and you send me some winning lottery tickets. Your accuracy should be 100% all the time then. If there was no barrier that exists, it does exist, it's very real, and you have to go and explore it, feel it, play with it, and explore it for yourself in order to find it and experience how real it is. It is very real, and as is the belief barrier. These are areas that those of us who are very interested in exploring this part of the human condition, these are things that we come up against. These are the things that we have to explore and find. and to learn about ourselves and how we process information, how our mind works below the threshold of our awareness, what's going on down there, and help to fine-tune it and allow for the inputs to move through easily and become more accessible as we attempt to experience our multi-dimensional nature. So that's what this exploration is about. Just a regular session, but in my mind, my intention going into it was to explore my own belief barrier. Not too much of it really came through other than elements of the actual target, but this is my area of interest that I will continue to explore. So I hope you find that interesting as I do, and many, many more to come. 2, 3, 4. Round, flat, tubular, large. I'm getting this idea of two, like two things. 2, 3, 4, 1. Around, flat, dense, and heavy. Multiple, hard, grooved, slim, slim, like that. Got to run out of marker. 2, 3, 4, 1. Inside, split or divided. Our response divided. Two, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Angular. Large, grooved, 2, 3, 4, pointed, pointed like an arrow. Like an arrow, like an arrow. Getting this kind of cone shape. Is this hollow? It's a dimensional sensation. Grooved, inside, close, moving, bouncing, glassy, silver, wide, yellow, 2, 3, 4, edged, fibrous, oily or thick, inside, wide, billowing. Pointed things. Pointed thing. Pointed things are things pointing out. Things pointing out blue in color, shiny, or things pointing out. Or tips. Or barbed. That's the idea of it. Yeah, this pointed things, pointy things. These are comparators. Fish, or arrows, or plane, front of an airplane or something. Yeah. That shape, that kind of pointed cone type shape, is a dimensional sensation that I'm experiencing. Voices. Shape like that kind of shape. What else? What else? Ground. But I'm going to end on that. If there's something here, I'll know from this shape. So the strong part here is a dimensional sensation.